Have you ever noticed how certain zodiac signs react very differently when they feel disrespected? Not slowly, not subtly, instantly. One moment, everything feels normal, and the next, their entire energy changes. Some signs get louder, some go completely silent, some act like nothing happened but never forget. And the strange part is, it's not always about what you said, it's about what they felt. Because when the ego is hurt, people don't respond, they react. And those reactions are not random. They follow patterns, very specific patterns. Some personalities attack, some withdraw, some protect their image at all costs. And once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. Today, we're breaking down how each zodiac sign reacts when their ego is hurt. Not to judge, not to label, but to understand what's happening beneath the reaction. Because when you understand the reaction, you understand the person. And when you understand the person, you stop taking it personally. Let's begin. Before we go deeper, let's make one thing clear. This is not about judging people. This is not about calling anyone a narcissist. And this is not medical advice. This is about patterns, simple patterns in human behavior. Astrology in this video is not used as prediction. It is used as a language, a simple way to describe personality types. Each zodiac sign represents a style, a way of thinking, a way of feeling, and a way of reacting. Every personality has a strong side, and every personality has a sensitive side. That sensitive side is what we call the ego. The ego is not bad. The ego is protection. It protects identity. It protects self-image. And sometimes it protects insecurity. When that protection is touched, people react, not always with words, but with energy, with tone, with distance, with silence, or with control. And these reactions are not random. They follow patterns, very clear patterns. Some people react fast. Some people pull away. Some people act like nothing happened, but inside they feel everything. So in this video, we are not just looking at signs, we are looking at reactions, real reactions. What happens in the moment when someone feels disrespected? Because that moment reveals more than anything else. It shows what a person is protecting. And once you see that, you understand them on a deeper level. Let's start with the fire signs. These are the signs that react the fastest. You usually don't have to guess how they feel. You see it right away. Aries. Aries is direct, strong, fast. When Aries feels disrespected, they react immediately. No filter, no delay. They may raise their voice, cut the conversation, or push back hard. Not because they want conflict, but because for Aries, respect is everything. And losing control feels like losing power. Aries doesn't like to feel weak, so instead of slowing down, they react fast, very fast. Leo is warm, confident, expressive, but when Leo feels disrespected, something changes. Not always loud, sometimes it's quiet. They may pull back, become distant, or act like they don't care, but inside, they feel it deeply, because for Leo, being respected is part of feeling valued. And when that is gone, it feels personal, very personal. Sagittarius. Sagittarius is open, honest, free. But when Sagittarius feels disrespected, they don't always react with emotion. They react with distance. They may laugh it off, change the subject, or walk away completely, not because they don't care, but because they don't want to feel limited. For Sagittarius, being controlled or misunderstood feels like a loss of freedom, and freedom is everything. Now I'm curious, which one feels more familiar to you? The fast reaction of Aries, the silent distance of Leo, or the calm withdrawal of Sagittarius? Let me know in the comments. And what's interesting is, not all signs react this way. Some don't react fast at all. They take their time, they hold it in, and when they react, it looks completely different. Let's look at the earth signs. Not all reactions are fast. Some people don't react right away. They pause, they observe, they hold it in, and when they finally react, it's controlled. Let's look at the earth signs. Taurus. Taurus is calm, stable, grounded. But when Taurus feels disrespected, they don't react fast, they go quiet, very quiet. They may stop talking, pull away, or act like nothing happened. But inside, they don't forget. Because for Taurus, respect is tied to trust. And when trust is broken, they close off, not to punish you, but to protect themselves. Once Taurus pulls back, it takes time to come back. Virgo. Virgo is thoughtful, precise, observant. When Virgo feels disrespected, they don't explode. They analyze. They replay the moment, again and again. Then, they respond, not with emotion, but with logic. They may point out details, correct you, or question your words, not because they want to hurt you, but because for Virgo, understanding is control, and control feels safe. Capricorn. Capricorn is strong, focused, self-controlled. When Capricorn feels disrespected, they don't react emotionally. They shut it down, completely. They may become cold, distant, or simply stop engaging, not because they don't feel anything, but because showing emotion can feel like losing control. For Capricorn, respect is tied to status, and when that is challenged, they protect their position, silently. Be honest, which one feels more real to you? The silence of Taurus, the analysis of Virgo, or the distance of Capricorn? Let me know below. And then there are people who don't react with silence or control. They react with thought. They explain. They justify. They shift the meaning. Let's look at the air signs. Sometimes, the strongest reactions are not emotional. You don't see anger. You don't hear silence. You don't feel distance. Instead, you hear explanations. You hear logic. You hear words that almost make sense, but something about them feels off. Because some people don't react with emotion. They react with thought. They explain. They justify. They shift the meaning of what just happened. And if you're not careful, you may even start questioning yourself. What did I say? Did I overreact? Was it really that serious? This is a different kind of reaction. Not loud, not cold, but confusing, and sometimes even harder to recognize. Let's look at the air signs. Gemini. Gemini is quick, smart, adaptable. When Gemini feels disrespected, they don't always react directly. They talk a lot. They may change the topic, turn it into a joke, or explain things from a different angle, and suddenly the focus shifts, not because Gemini wants to lie, but because staying in one moment can feel uncomfortable. For Gemini, control comes through conversation. If they can change the story, they can change how it feels. Libra. Libra is calm, balanced, social. When Libra feels disrespected, they don't want conflict, they want peace. So instead of reacting directly, they smooth things out. They may agree, even if they don't feel it. They may avoid the topic, or act like everything is fine, not because Libra is fake, but because tension feels unsafe. For Libra, being liked matters, and conflict can feel like rejection, so they protect the connection, even if it costs honesty. Aquarius. Aquarius is independent, thoughtful, different. When Aquarius feels disrespected, they don't react emotionally, they detach, they step back, they analyze the situation from a distance. They may seem calm, unbothered, even unaffected, but that distance is the reaction, not because Aquarius doesn't feel, but because feeling too much can feel overwhelming. So instead of going deeper, they go higher, into thought, into logic, into detachment. For Aquarius, understanding feels safer than feeling. Now I want to know, have you ever experienced this? Someone who didn't react with anger, but made you feel confused instead? Was it Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius? Tell me in the comments. And finally, there are the signs that feel everything, deeply, intensely. And when their ego is hurt, the reaction is not hidden. It's emotional. Let's look at the water signs. And then, There are the people who don't hide their reaction with silence or logic, but with emotion, deep emotion, the kind you can feel even if nothing is said. Because when these signs feel disrespected, they don't just react, they feel it, fully. Let's look at the water signs. Cancer. Cancer is caring, protective, emotionally aware. But when Cancer feels disrespected, it hits deeply, not on the surface, but inside. They may become quiet, not cold, but hurt. They may need reassurance, more attention, more closeness, not because they want control, but because for Cancer, connection feels like safety. And when that safety feels shaken, they hold on tighter, because losing connection can feel like losing everything. Scorpio. Scorpio is intense, focused, emotionally strong, but when Scorpio feels disrespected, they don't react right away. They feel it first, deeply, then they respond, with control, with silence, or with distance, not loud, but powerful. Because for Scorpio, respect is tied to trust, and when trust is broken, they don't forget. They may test you, pull back, or protect themselves without saying a word, not because they want revenge, but because being vulnerable again feels risky. For Scorpio, emotional safety is everything. Pisces is sensitive, imaginative, deeply emotional. When Pisces feels disrespected, they don't always react directly. They feel overwhelmed. They may withdraw, disappear, or avoid the situation, not because they don't care, but because they feel too much. For Pisces, conflict is heavy, and emotional pain can feel too intense to face. So instead of confronting it, they step away from it, into their own space, where things feel safer. Let me ask you this, which one feels the most real? The need for closeness in Cancer, the silent control of Scorpio, or the emotional distance of Pisces? Tell me in the comments. And when you look at all of this, something starts to make sense. These reactions are not random, they are protection. Let's look at what this really means. When you look at all these reactions, a pattern starts to appear. Different signs, different styles, different behaviors, but the same reason: protection. Because when the ego is hurt, people are not trying to win. They are trying to protect something, their identity, their image, their sense of self. And most of the time, they are protecting a part of them that feels vulnerable, that feels exposed, that feels not enough. And that changes everything. Because when you understand this, you stop asking why are they acting like this, and you start asking what are they protecting. That question changes how you see people. It creates space, not weak space, clear space. Because awareness removes confusion, and confusion is what makes reactions feel personal. But once you see the pattern, you realize it was never just about you. It was about how they felt in that moment, and what they were trying to protect. So if you recognize someone in this video, that's awareness. If you recognized yourself, that's growth. Because real strength is not controlling others, it's understanding yourself. And maybe the most important thing is this: every personality has an ego. Every ego has a trigger, but not everyone is aware of it. And awareness is what turns reaction into choice. Softer tone. If this video made something clearer for you, take a moment with that, because sometimes one moment of clarity is enough to change how you see everything. Soft close. And if you want to understand more patterns like this, you can continue with the next video.